filing in. You can almost guarantee it will be a sellout before they finish all the counting here in St. Louis. Great rivalry, Cubs and Cardinals, back to get it renewed right after this. You are listening to The Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Talking Cubs Monday through Friday afternoons with Spiegel and Holmes, 2 to 6 on The Score.
This is the run my own business dream. This is the college is paid for dream. This is the retire early dream. This is Busey, where your dreams and possibilities become moments. Through trusted guidance and expertise, through lifelong relationships. Because we're here to help you achieve the life you've always envisioned. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Car accident? Call DNW right now. Slip and fall? Call DNW right now. Any accident at all? Call DNW Law right now. Don't hesitate. Call the 8s, 312-888-8888.
It's game time. Time to crack open a Yuengling. After 196 years, the wait is over. Yuengling is finally available here in Illinois. Look for it at your favorite bar or store. Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America, and speaking of old, this is an old rivalry that we always enjoy being a part of, and it finally kicks off almost halfway through the season, partner.
It is always fun. You're right, it's a little bit late to have the very first meeting of the year between the two, but there is always an electricity in the crowd. Almost always every single game is sold out, both here and at Wrigley. And I look forward to these games, Ron. What was it like for you in 2001 playing for the Cubs and becoming a part of this rivalry?
Well, instantly, right away, you realize that this is something special. There's a few in Major League Baseball that have this intensity. This one has it for sure. And you could feel it. The fans feel it. You just know. And speaking of fans, we have a bunch of Cub fans that have made their way to St. Louis. But there was always that point on the calendar when you circled those dates, you knew you were playing the Cardinals that weekend.
Warm night in Missouri. 94 degrees at game time. Game time temperature, by the way, sponsored by Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Your trusted local experts. Four Seasons, and we are ready for baseball. Thank you again for joining us. Matthew Liberator, a big left-hander, fires to Ian Happ, a swing and a miss, and away we go. Cubs wearing their traveling uniforms, the gray shirts and trousers, red numbers on their backs, blue hats and helmets, blue sleeves and socks. And the 0-1 to Ian Happ taken high for a ball. Cubs have a variety of shoe colors. Ian Happ wears blue and white kicks. Cardinals in their home whites. The rest is red. Red hats, numbers, sleeves, and socks, and shoes. Happ hits a big chop slowly to a charging shortstop Wynn, gloving it, running through to first to get him. Wynn has good speed, and he got to that ball very quickly, and he made a quick throw to first to get Happ by a step.
Yeah, nice play on the chopper. Ball hit, and the one thing about Wynn also that we've heard about and seen is the great arm. He has a very good throwing arm and got Happ by a step.
Kyle Tucker steps in, left-hander against left-hander. Tucker hitting .285. Pitch on the way to Kyle, rolled out towards second base. Donovan will throw him out, and that's out number 2. Uniform descriptions sponsored by Benjamin Moore. On the field or the walls of your home, the right team and colors make all the difference. Official paint of the Chicago Cubs, Benjamin Moore. Ron, what's the scouting report on Matthew Liberator?
Well, he's getting to use all his pitches. He's a fastball, curveball, slider, change, cutter. He's got them all.
A drive by Suzuki, deep right center, on the run in the alley, making the catch is Victor Scott III, or actually Victor Scott II. He made a running, leaping catch on the warning track in deep right center, and that ends the first inning. 3 up, 3 down after a half. Cubs nothing, Cardinals coming up.
play in Toronto, Guerrero sends over some good stuff for the guys. So when we play in Toronto, I definitely dive into that.
You gotta be careful with Vladdy, bro, because a Dominican breakfast will put you to sleep, bro. ¿Cómo está sonando la comida dominicana ya?
La comida dominicana ya no sé cómo está sonando, porque obviamente mi esposa me cocina. O sea, hay restaurantes, pero no voy a comer comida latina.
Simple. Order one now on ChefIQ.com. That's ChefIQ.com.
FinishingChicago.com for the industry's best drywall finishing, wall covering, glass systems, signage, and painting contractors. Rely on FinishingChicago.com.
The Cubs leadoff man was presented by Benny's Beverage Depot. If Ian Happ would have gotten a base hit, Benny's would have donated $100 to the Greater Chicago Food Depository. First pitch by Ben Brown to Donovan. Bounced to first, fielded by Turner, and Justin feeds Brown on the bag for out number one. Getting back to Benny's Beverage Depot, they would generously donate $100 to the Greater Chicago Food Depository on a leadoff hit to begin a ball game. If you can't find it at Benny's, it's probably not worth drinking. One down, Mason Wynn, the batter. Ron, as you think about Ben Brown facing these Cardinals, what's on your mind?
Well, I think for Brownie, the command of his fastball and being on the aggressive side with it on the attack early in the at-bats against this Cardinal group.
Wynn will take a strike 0-1.
If you're talking strike one, strike two on a regular basis to this Cardinals group, Brownie's going to have a very good day. If he's behind in the count, that's when he gets into a little bit of trouble.
Overall, he has 4 wins and 5 losses. He blazes a fastball in there for a strike. I'm looking. Yep, there it is. 97 mph.
A very good fastball on the outer half. First inning is powered by Invesco QQQ. Let's rethink possibility. Invesco Distributors Incorporated.
Wynn hitting .255. He swings and misses at a sharp slider. Fastball, slider. There's a combination that has been used literally thousands of times over the baseball years.
And it keeps working. Strike one, strike two, hook, grab some bench.
2 down, nobody on. Here's Alec Burleson. Burleson with 8 home runs, left-handed hitter hitting .308. He hits one in the air to center, routine for Pete Crow Armstrong. He's got it. And both starting pitchers work 1, 2, 3. At the end of one, 0-0 game on the score. And the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Cubs fans, Pete Crow Armstrong here. Pat and Ron call it.
Be in the middle of New York to display a card like this is really such a big part of the Fanatics mission. We think about how do we create new experiences. Now we get the opportunity to put incredible Holy Grail cards in front of tens of thousands, if not millions of new people. It's not just about collectors today, but also about how do we bring new collectors into the space as well. It's really what we do it all for.
to you by Sealess. The second inning is brought to you by Sea Glass Wines, delivering crisp, refreshing flavors that hit every time. Pat?
Very good, Zach. Thank you. Zach will be along in the fifth inning to work with Ron. Our engineer is Michael Langston here in St. Louis. Always good to work with Michael. As the second inning commences, Dansby Swanson takes a Matthew Liberatore curveball for a called strike. Swanson hitting cleanup tonight. 14 home runs for Dansby. He drives one down the right field line. Foul. Hard hit ball. It's a symmetrical outfield. 336 down the lines. 375 to the alleys and 400 to straightaway. The wall is 8 feet high all the way around. So if an outfielder has some decent leaping ability, he can reach up and take a home run away from an opposing hitter. Swanson takes high. And like most parks, Ron, when it's warm weather like this, the ball will carry better.
Yeah, the ball was really jumping in batting practice today. Saw a lot of balls, going into the second and third deck here in the ballpark.
Swanson swings at a curveball, doesn't get it for strike 3. Liberatore tall. Two very big starting pitchers tonight. Liberatore 6'5", 215. Ben Brown for the Cubs 6'6", 220. One away, and here is Pete Crow Armstrong. Even in the park of your arch rival, a lot of Cub fans are here. And Pete Crow Armstrong will take a strike. We noticed that about an hour, 2 hours ago, Ron. We were preparing for the game, and thousands of Cub fans already here watching pregame drills. Here's the 0-1 to Pete. Down low for a ball.
It's much easier to spot them here in St. Louis than some of the other road cities, like, let's say, Atlanta. Blue sticks out a lot when everything else is red around here. So, it's easy to see. Pete, I think a lot of hitters are going to be taking time, and Adrian Johnson is going to say that this is not a timeout because of the heat. I think everybody is trying to keep the sweat out of their eyes just so they can play the game normally today.
Check swing. He went too far. Got fooled on a breaking ball. 1-2.
Liberatore did good fastball. He's got a good cutter. That one was 89 miles an hour, a little cutter. Speed gun powered by Xfinity. Get seriously powerful Wi-Fi. Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming.
Swing and a miss at a high fastball. That's out number 2. Second strikeout for Liberatore. Let's pause 10 seconds right here for station identification. You are listening to The Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Covering the Cubs and all of Chicago's teams on the Spiegel and Holmes Show afternoons 2 to 6 on The Score, WSCR Chicago, WBMX HD2 Chicago, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Former Cardinal Carson Kelly will take low and inside. Carson batting 6th, hitting .245. Doing a nice job behind the plate, working with the Cubs pitching staff. And he's got 9 home runs, and he's driven in 25. The 1-0 to Kelly, line to the gap, base hit left center. Over to pick it up is Scott. He will hold Kelly to a long single, and the Cubs have the first hit and base runner of tonight's game.
Well, nice job by Kelly. This is a fastball away. He just stays on it, hooks it into the gap in left center. Scott, who runs very well, cut that ball off in left center and held Kelly to a single.
Kelly not a base stealing threat as Nico Horner steps in. Arenado moves in shallow at third. Interesting. And the pitch on the way to Nico, a swing and a miss. Now Arenado backing up a few steps. Why do you think he came in on the first pitch to Nico?
I'm not real sure. I don't see Nico being a bunter in this situation with 2 outs. I'm not sure why he did that.
Now he backs up to normal depth.
This playing surface plays very fast. I've always thought for a natural grass field, this is one of the faster fields playing-wise, playing surface, in the league.
Fast but true, would that be safe to
Correct.
say?
Very, very good. All the ballparks now, because of just technology and being able to, the grass stays very smooth and level. The dirt mixture doesn't clump up and get real choppy like it used to.
Here's a smack on the ground to second, fielded by Donovan. Shovels to the shortstop, win on the bag. It's a 4-6 fielder's choice, and that ends the inning. No runs on a hit, a man left. We move to the bottom of inning number 2. 0-0 game. Cubs and Cardinals.
Take a look at what we find. Looks like we've got Lauren Shahadi.
Animation is great.
We got Robert Flores, one of the stars of MLB Central with Lauren Shahadi. Then we got Mark DeRosa. Look at that. He looks like Superman, does he not?
Right? He was when he was with the Cubs.
Harold Reynolds looking ripped in a tracksuit in Studio 42. There I am. The hair's on point.
I know this guy.
Look at that jawline.
Hammer. The more you boss, the more you feel like a boss.
On Thursday, July 3rd, the Cubs celebrate the 100th anniversary of Cubs radio broadcasts. Up to the first 10,000 early arriving fans will receive a Cubs Bluetooth speaker presented by Marriott Bonvoy. Be here for it. Get your tickets at Cubs.com/tickets. 100 years of Cubs radio, Pat.
I haven't been here that long, Zach. Wilson Contreras will lead off. Will lead off and foul the way off to the right. Lars Nootbaar on deck, and then Nolan Arenado.
That wasn't very nice of Zach to call you out like that, buddy.
He's exaggerating by at least 20 or 30 years. Here's a little looper foul off to the right and out of play. Whenever we talk about the Cubs' defensive alignment, that's sponsored by Fitzgerald Equipment. Material handling handled. Learn more at FitzgeraldEquipment.com. Former Cub Wilson Contreras hitting .241, but he's got some power always. 10 home runs, and he's driven in 50. Cardinals begin the night 4.5 games behind the Cubs. Milwaukee 3.5 games behind. And now the 1-2 to Contreras is up and away for a ball. The people here tell me that his defense at first, talking about Wilson Contreras, has been very efficient.
Yeah, it's getting better, that's for sure. And he's a very good athlete. We saw that in Chicago. There were days where he wouldn't catch, and he played left field at times or first base. So, you know, to keep his bat in lineup, because that pitch is up and in from Brown. You know, I'm just not sure. They brought him over here to be their number one catcher, and it just didn't work out.
And he takes strike 3 call. Contreras caught looking, no argument. He kind of stared at Adrian Johnson, the crew chief. Didn't say anything. Let's take another look.
A little high breaking ball right at the top of the zone. Could have gone either way, actually. Brownie got the call. Manager's challenges and instant replays. All reviews in this game are sponsored by Northwestern Medicine. Second opinion's always a good idea. Get yours at Northwestern Medicine.
Left-handed batting Lars Nootbaar will take ball 1. The tall right-hander Ben Brown, a native of New York, near New York City. Here's the 1-0. High fly ball to center. Routine for Pete Crow Armstrong, virtually in his tracks. Makes the catch. And that's out number 2. Strikeouts by Cubs pitchers, brought to you by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. Scoreless game. Here is Nolan Arenado. .247 average, 10 home runs, 39 driven in. Right-handed batter with an open stance. And the pitch on the way to the former Colorado Rocky is in there for a strike. Arenado almost got traded in the offseason, but he nixed a deal to, I believe, the New York Mets. Here comes the 0-1. And it's in there for a strike. But I know he was offered, and they had an agreement worked out, but he and his agent said, nope, we're not going to go.
Yeah, he's got a no-trade clause in his contract when he came over here to St. Louis.
Swinging a high pop fly, shallow right. Coming in, Tucker near the line. Can't get it. It's a base hit. There might be a play at first. A throw to the catcher, and Arenado is out. Kelly hustling down the first baseline. Followed the batter. Kelly right on the bag at first. Great play by Carson. And Arenado, a good 20, 25 feet beyond the bag, tried to jam on the...
like build this for them and spend the last year of coming up with this concept and getting it off the ground and getting everybody here. Like, it just feels really good to have everybody coming and experiencing the thing that we've been working so hard on. To be able to like take the experiences of Comic-Con and add that to a card show just is really fulfilling, because as somebody who grew up going to card shows and still goes to the same card show in the same church basement in Trumbull, Connecticut every month, like, it's great. Card shows are amazing, but to be able to add all of this experience is what makes this great.
What is something that you snack on that you don't worry about?
I love Uncrustables. I could eat like 10 of them in one sitting.
And no regard for his body? I don't even wait till I thaw out.
Hey, put them in a toaster next time. Just toast it, yep. It'll change your life.
Yeah, just an incredible play by Riley Green.
You are an all-star on the field and off, bro.
I appreciate it.
Hey,
thank you.
Riley Green, bro, food genius.
The right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Ask Fazio Insurance in Joliet if Auto Owners make sense for you.
Illinois Bone and Joint Institute, a leader in comprehensive orthopedic care. Visit ibji.com for locations.
Justin Turner, first up, takes the first two pitches for called strikes from Matthew Liberator. And the 0-2 to Turner bounces in there for a ball. Today, the 41st anniversary of the Sandberg game. June 23, 1984. Can it possibly be 41 years ago today? Now the pitch to Turner. Swinging a bouncer toward the middle. The second baseman, Donovan, on the shortstop side of the bag, gloves it with a backhand and throws to first in time. And that's out number one. Scoreless game, third inning. The batter, Matt Shaw. I remember that game very vividly. Do you remember it?
100%. Absolutely. It was the news around Chicago and all the, your baseball buddies and that, because the game, it's such a unique game. I remember watching it as a kid. Absolutely.
Bob Costas and Tony Kubek called it on NBC television. Here's a smash to third, caught by Arenado. Matt Shaw hit one very hard, but one third baseman has just lined out to the other. Two down, and the batter, Ian Happ.
I like that Shaw was on that inside fastball right away. He was aggressive. And the thing for all of us in Chicago as kids, we loved Bruce Sutter, and then he left to go to St. Louis, and then for him to be on the mound for both of the home runs against Sandberg, there are a lot of unique things about all that, but that was the one thing that we remembered as kids, is just thinking he got him off Sutter, which we were fired up about.
Absolutely, as Ian Happ swings and misses, but he homered in the 9th inning to tie the game. Cubs had several batters thereafter, did not score, and he came up again in the 10th inning after St. Louis had grabbed a lead, and he homered again. And if there's another case, Ron, of a ball player homering in consecutive innings against one of the top-notch closers in all of baseball, I don't know of that instance. It's very, very odd.
Absolutely agree. And at the time, Bruce Sutter was like the elite bullpen closer in baseball.
Happ takes outside, but again, Bob Costas made a couple of great calls on NBC television. Harry Carey on Cubs radio was wonderful on those calls. It's great just to go back and listen to those.
Absolutely.
The 3-1. Happ swings and misses in the count 3-2.
You know how as a kid, certain things are just etched in your memory. That is one of them. When he hit the second home run, I just remember jumping off the couch. As a kid, it was great.
It was amazing. You couldn't believe what you were watching. Now the 3-2 to Happ, swinging a foul back. Ryne Sandberg would eventually be the National League MVP. I looked at his numbers earlier today. I knew about most of them, but I had forgotten a couple. I knew these, Ron. I knew .314 average, 19 homers, and 84 driven in. Here's a swing and a miss, strike 3. We'll get to some of the other numbers when we come back. Cubs do nothing. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. 0-0 game. Cubs and Cardinals on the score, and the Southwest Airlines
What is it about baseball cards that make them so special? Why do you enjoy doing that?
Well, the biggest thing is I started collecting when I was a kid. O-Pee-Chee was a Canadian hockey league, and then the Canadian football. But I didn't start in the U.S. until I had signed professionally as a ball player. And when I got my first rookie card, and I've got it here with me.
Let's take a peek at that.
1966 with Billy Sorrell.
Building products siding with the Cubs.
Bottom 3, Cubs and Cardinals are scoreless. Sunny, 90 degrees at the moment in St. Louis. Time and temperature sponsored by Circa Sports Illinois. Bet like the pros and download the Circa Sports app today.
Nolan Gorman will lead off the St. Louis 3rd inning against Ben Brown. Swinging a foul back. Gorman hitting .210, struggling. 4 home runs, 18 driven in. He's the DH. Pedro Pages on deck, and then Victor Scott the second. Swing and a miss, good fastball. Getting back to Ryne Sandberg, I had forgotten some of the other amazing numbers that he put up. He played Gold Glove caliber defense at second. He scored 114 runs, not bad. How about this one, Ron? 19 triples.
Ooh.
You realize how rare that is to hit 19 triples in a season?
And that's in Wrigley Field, which is definitely not a triple-friendly ballpark.
That's a good point. And also, just for good measure, 32 stolen bases.
Yeah, there you go.
Now the 1-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss, a vanishing breaking ball, and Gorman is out number 1. No score. We're in the 3rd. The batter, Pedro Pages.
Excellent hook once again by Brownie, and that's, we were talking out right at the open of the broadcast about Brownie pitching ahead with that fastball, and then all of a sudden, you get some swings and misses with that hook down out of the zone.
Pages, a right-handed batter. He will swing at a high heat. Strikeouts by Cubs pitchers brought to you by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. Pages hitting .219. 5 homers, driven in 22. Shadows on the field except for right field. Some sunlight still on the field out in deep right and right center. There's quite a bit of foul territory space here between the bases and the dugouts on either side. I'd say 45 to 50 feet. And the area behind the umpire to the backstop screen about 40-45 feet as well. So a lot of foul territory. A swing and a high pop fly, shallow left. Happ coming in, now backpedaling as the wind grabs it. And now Happ grabs it, and that's out number 2.
And we're coming to you live all season long from the Invesco QQQ broadcast booth, proud ETF partner of the Chicago Cubs. And I'm guessing between Happ, Armstrong, and Tucker and Wright, the high fly balls that have been hit over the last 3 or 4 days have been very adventurous. Tonight, it's more the norm, where the ball just comes down where you think it is.
Norman Scott lines one into right, past a diving Nico Horner. Sharp ground ball off the bat of Victor Scott II. And the Cardinals get their second hit of the game. And back to the top of the order for Brendan Donovan. Great effort by Nico, always diving.
Yeah, good try. This ball, as we said earlier, this infield plays very fast.
Donovan bounced out to first in the first. There goes the runner. The pitch is in. Throw to second base, not in time. He stole it much more on Brown than he did on the throw by Kelly. Stolen base for Victor Scott II.
Carson Kelly doing an excellent job behind the plate this year of throwing. And you knew Scott was going. And the one thing, Brownie a little slow to the plate. And Scott steals that base easily.
It's his 22nd steal. He's only been caught once. Here's a pitch low and inside now to Donovan. Donovan bounced out. He's 0 for 1. Scoreless game. We're in the third. Nice warm summer night in St. Louis. Cloudless blue skies overhead. The stretch by Brown and the delivery fouled away. The famous St. Louis arch clearly visible out beyond the right center field fence.
Now, we were coming in last night when we flew in, and the question was brought up about, with us having 4 days here, about going up into the arch.
When you say we, here is a fly ball into left center. Cor Armstrong will make the catch. I hope all of you, whoever we would include, I hope all of you have a good time, Ron.
Okay, got it. You're not including yourself in that?
No, sir.
Joyful scent of Fabuloso. Inhale. You forgot to empty your kid's lunchbox. Exhale. A field of lavender. Inhale. Stinky leftovers. Exhale. Watermelon in the summer. That's the power of hefty, ultra-strong trash bags with Fabuloso.
Hefty, hefty, hefty! Bet365 is now live in Illinois. Download the Bet365 app. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Kyle Tucker hits a high pop fly into shallow left. Mason Wynn, the shortstop, angling out over near the line, will make a routine catch. One pitch, one away. Fourth inning, no score in the game, and the batter Seiya Suzuki.
Well, Tuck has seen two pitches rolled out to the first baseman, or actually the second baseman Donovan, and then popped up.
Suzuki drove one to the warning track in right center in the first before it was hauled in by Scott. Cubs only hit a base hit by Carson Kelly back in the second. 0-0 game. Liberator coming back. Off-speed pitch in for a strike.
Pretty good breaking ball there. Little backdoor hook. Designated hitters tonight. Saya's at the plate. He's the DH tonight. Sponsored by BBQ Authority. Visit BBQ Authority in Lisle.
Now the 0-2 pulled foul on the ground toward third.
And this fourth inning, sponsored by Wintrust, home of the exclusive Cubs debit card. Member FDIC, EHL lender.
Former Japanese All-Star Seiya Suzuki batting. And speaking of former and current big league star, Shota Imanaga will return to pitch in this series. Here comes the 0-2. Fastball high. We were visiting with Cubs manager Craig Counsell in his office several hours before the game, and he said Thursday is the day we are targeting for Shota Imanaga to return.
That is great news for the Chicago Cubs.
Suzuki swings at a breaking ball and doesn't get it. It is strike three. Strikeout number 3 for Liberator. Liberator has never beaten the Cubs, a team against whom he is 0-1 lifetime with a 4.38 ERA. 8 career games, most of those in relief, so there's not a lot of familiarity between the Cub hitters and this Cardinal left-hander. Dansby Swanson steps in. Dansby taking outside.
And he does things a little unique, too. He's very conventional in the way he throws, but his sequence of pitches is not. He uses his fastball, about just over 30% of the time, which is quite a bit lower than most big league pitchers.
Dansby swings and misses.
And really, his repertoire pitches, he up to 7 pitches, and he uses them all. It's not like, 2 of them don't really register. He uses all of his pitches.
Dansby takes high for a ball. We're going to play the Benny's Beverage Depot attendance game. If you can't find it at Benny's, it's probably not worth drinking. We're going to make our guesses as we move along. The pitch to Dansby, hit in the air to right, slicing toward foul territory. Long run, Burleson near the line, gets there, makes the catch. Fair territory, inning over. 3 up, 3 down after 3.5. 0-0 game. Cubs and St. Louis on the score in the Southwest.
But we're on the radio, remember?
Right! Hi, Mom.
Customized small business banking from Old National Bank. Member FDIC. Get old.
Hefty Trash Bags, the official trash bags of the Chicago Cubs. Hefty, ultra-strong trash bags resist rips, tears, and leaks. Strength that's anything but ordinary.
Hefty, hefty, hefty!
The Out-of-Town Scoreboard is sponsored by Club Citgo. Download the Club Citgo app now and instantly save 23 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. In progress, Orioles leading the Rangers 6-0 after 7.
Mason Wynn swings and misses. Zach, what else?
Jackson Holliday with a 3-run shot for Baltimore. Ronald Acuna Jr. has gone deep for the 9th time this season. Braves on top of the Mets, 3-0, top of the 5th.
Bounce to short, charging, gloving. Swanson sets the feet, makes the throw, and one shortstop has just bounced out to the other. It brings up Alec Burleson.
And Pat, the first out brought to you by Xfinity. The Wi-Fi is booming. The Reds lead the Yankees 3-1 after 4. Ellie De La Cruz with an RBI triple. Aaron Judge has gone deep for New York, his 28th home run of the year. Top 3 Mariners lead the Twins 3-0. The Diamondbacks a 5-0 lead over the White Sox, bottom of the 2nd inning.
Burleson bunting it foul toward third. What else, Zach?
Pavin Smith, a 3-run shot for Arizona in that game on the south side. The Pirates strike first, a 1-0 lead over the Brewers. Bottom of the 3rd in Milwaukee. Nick Gonzalez, an RBI double, Pat.
Very good. Here, no score. Last of inning number 4. Not much hitting. Cubs with 1. Cardinals have 2. Burleson flied to center his first time. He hits a fly ball foul off to the left, out of play. Let's make our Benny's Beverage Depot attendance game guesses. And I thought, just assuming after all these years, that this would be a sellout. I don't know if that's going to be the case. I see a lot of empties in the upper deck.
A lot down the lines, and I was just wondering early if it was because of the heat and the sun on those areas, so the fans were staying in the concourses, but I don't think so. I don't think this is going to be a sellout tonight.
Well, I'll go ahead and get us started if that's okay. I'll say 30,003. A swing and a smash foul on the ground pass first.
Okay.
It's 30,003.
I will say 34,000.
I'll say 32,500.
Let's see how we did a little bit later on. Alec Burleson hitting .308. Cardinals yesterday, Zach was giving us the Cincinnati score. The Reds have a young left-hander by the name of Andrew Abbott. I would say keep an eye on that guy. There's a bouncing ball left side fielded by Shaw, playing where a shortstop normally does, and the third baseman throws to first in time. That's the kind of shift that you see against a left-handed batter sometimes. 2 down in the batter, Wilson Contreras. Yesterday, Andrew Abbott not only was the winner run, he retired the last 18 batters he faced as he allowed the Reds to avoid being swept in that series. St. Louis has still won 5 of their last 6 as this series gets underway. But Abbott, in winning, reducing his ERA down to a 1.79. Ooh. He has been sharp. And I saw an oddity in that game. Is the 0-1 missing outside. It says that Jake Fraley, a right fielder for the Reds, had 10 putouts in that game.
How about that?
So Cardinal batters kept hitting fly balls to right. 10 catches by a single outfielder in a game. I don't know if I've ever seen a game like that.
I know I have not. I know that. You think of that, 10 putouts by one outfielder. There's only 27 outs.
Yeah.
These are supposed to be.
Thanks for updating that knowledge for me. It's a ball and 2 strikes to Contreras.
Zach was saying you'd been around for over 100 years here in this league. I didn't think the rules had changed. All that,
But you do forget some, so it's helpful. I thank you.
That was more for my own benefit, to be honest with you.
A ball and 2 strikes on Wilson Contreras. Last of the 4th inning, scoreless game. Ben Brown's pitch, low and outside for a ball. Flags just hanging. Wind is not a factor at all right now. Here's the liner into left center. Base hit. Might be an extra base knock. It will be. Pete Armstrong gloves it on the track. Gets it back in, and Contreras holding with a double.
This series, you're going to hear from Contreras. It's always been one of those things. Wilson, since he's left Chicago, he plays with an edge to him, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you're going to get your A game all 4 games with Contreras on the other side. And He punches in this series here early in the second at bat. What a 2-out double.
Lars Nootbaar, the batter. Nootbaar fly to center. He'll take a fastball down low. Cardinals aren't that familiar with Ben Brown either. And the pitch, in fact, they're not familiar with him at all. It's his first ever career appearance against the Cardinals. So what they've learned in the first 4 innings tonight is the extent of their big league knowledge of him. Two down, a man at second. The big right-hander Brown glancing back at Contreras, deals a little bit outside. 3-0. You got Arenado on deck. You don't want to walk this guy.
Nootbaar with 9 home runs on the year, 31 driven in.
The 3-0, he's taking all the way a strike. I thought he might have the green light, but maybe the fact that he's hitting 229 prevented that privilege for him in this particular spot.
Quite a few of the guys for the Cardinals with their averages kind of low.
Nootbaar takes strike 2 call. Now it's full.
Pitch there by Browning, a little backdoor curveball that catches corner on 3-1. Throw that same pitch, might just get a fly out and get out of this inning.
Here comes the payoff. Fly ball to right, deep. Back goes Tucker to the wall. It's going to leave the yard.
Pitch. It is a breaking ball, but this one, I believe, ends up more middle. Nootbaar just goes out and hooks it. Yeah, this is breaking ball. It really didn't look like, to me, Brown was trying to throw it for a strike and didn't really bite down on the breaking ball, and it just kind of spun in there. And Nootbaar hit it about, 15 rows back.
Nootbaar's 10th home run. Liner to third. Leaping catch by Shaw. Shaw robbing Arenado after Shaw had lined out to Arenado earlier in the game. Cardinals score twice on the 2-run homer by Lars Nootbaar. We go to the 5th inning.
There's the bunt. That could be trouble as Petrie. No, Stevie dives in and beats it. Good effort by Steve Lyons.
And that'll be a base hit right there. Good job. I'll tell you one thing, not a bad defensive play either by the Tigers.
Did you see that? He's going to get the dirt out, and all of a sudden he unbuckled his pants and they fell down.
I feel like food and sharing a meal with someone is a universal language. You can't go to a ballpark and not have a nice hot dog. So if I'm at the ballpark, I'm gonna get a nice heavy glizzy. You gotta have chili on there, you gotta have cheese. If your hot dog isn't bending in the middle because it's like about to fall apart, then you're not doing it right. So you gotta have a glizzy and then something cold, whatever it is, beer, lemonade. You gotta have something cold to wash that hot dog down with.
Suits and 2020 in Niles. From men's suits and formal wear to sports and casual wear, 2020. We're more than just amazing suits.
Pete Crow Armstrong on deck for the Cubs as the first pitch comes in. It's outside for ball one to PCA. Who's on deck is brought to you by TimberTech Decking and Railing. Everything wood should be. Visit TimberTech.com. Top of the fifth here in St. Louis. It's the Cardinals with a 2-0 lead as PCA checks swings at a pitch low and outside on appeal. No swing, says the third base umpire. So the count now 2-0. Quinn Walcott working third tonight. Matthew Liberator on the hill. The left-hander works his motion and deals. Crow Armstrong, it's a high fly ball, deep left center field. Scott looking up. This one will one-hop the wall. Crow Armstrong heads to second base, gets there standing up. Nice start to the fifth for the Cubs.
And I love for Pete, as you get into this mode where you start swinging, you start chasing some balls out of the zone a little bit. And that last at bat that he had, he chased a couple balls out of the zone. Well, this time you slow the game down a little and use the other side of the field. You just see the ball longer, and he bangs one off the left center field wall for a double.
So PCA at second base. No one out here in the top of the fifth. Cubs down 2, game 1 of a 4-game set in St. Louis. The batter, Carson Kelly, right-handed hitter. The pitch. And a line drive smoked in the left center field. This will drop in for a base hit. Crow Armstrong around third. He's coming home. The throw goes to second base, and the Cubs are on the board. RBI single for the former Cardinal, Carson Kelly. It's 2-1 St. Louis here in the fifth.
Now Kelly 2 for 2. Cubs with only 3 hits in the ball game here through the first. We're starting the fifth inning, and Kelly drafted by St. Louis as a third baseman, and they moved him to a catcher. That was a pretty good move by the Cardinals. It's worked out pretty good for Kelly, and he drives in the Cubs' first run.
He's 2 for 2 today. A couple of singles, including an RBI. Nico Horner at the plate with Kelly at first. No one out here in the top of the fifth. The pitch is in there for a strike. Fastball clocked at 95 miles per hour to Horner. 0-1. Middle infielders at double play depth. Arenado playing just about even with the bag at third. The pitch. Fouled out of play off to the right.
Nico got a good pitch to hit. Took a big swing just underneath and fouled it straight back.
So the count now 0-2.
Cardinals not really playing that shift. They're playing more of a normal, what would be an old-fashioned double play depth because of Nico's ability to shoot the ball the other way.
Here comes the 0-2. Breaking ball up high. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Second baseman Donovan playing basically straight up, and Wynn playing, double play depth, but both guys are going to have a little bit of an issue getting to the bag with the distance they are away from the second base bag.
Here comes the 1-2. That's up high to Nico. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Especially Donovan at second.
So let's see if it comes into play here. Kelly at first base having a conversation with Cubs first base coach Jose Javier. He's being held on at first by Contreras. Horner at the plate with a 2-2 count. Lefty-righty matchup as Liberator kicks and delivers. And Nico swings, ground ball up the middle, through into center field for a base hit. Kelly stops at second. And now the Cubs in business. They've got the tying run in scoring position, the go-ahead run at first. And Justin Turner due up. Still no one out here in the top of the fifth. St. Louis a 2-1 lead.
Nico takes a soft speed pitch. It looks like a little changeup or cut or split of some kind. Ball goes down, and Nico hits it right back through the box, right through the legs of Liberator, right into center field. So 2 men on. Cubs with a run in already and 3 straight hits here in the fifth.
Brief mound meeting as Pedro Pajes, the Cardinals catcher, went out to the mound to talk to Liberator. First baseman Wilson Contreras joined them. We're coming to you live all season long from the Invesco QQQ broadcast booth, proud ETF partner of the Chicago Cubs. 2-1 St. Louis, top of the fifth. Kelly at second, Horner at first. Turner at the plate. Grounded out his first at bat. Right-handed batter. The pitch is low for ball 1.
The Cubs could really use Turner to get hot. And in this at bat, lefty, this would be ideal for him to whack one in a gap or hit one out of here.
Turner waits for the 1-0. Here it comes, and he hits it foul on the ground off to the left. So 1-1 the count. Liberator starting Turner off with a changeup, and that last pitch was a curve. Liberator peers in, gets the sign from Paez, acknowledges, looks at second. That's where Kelly is. The pitch. A ground ball hit on the right side, ranging to his left. Donovan Fields on the edge of the outfield grass. His throw to first in time to get Turner one away. But the runners advance to second and third, so Kelly now at third base, Horner at second.
A productive at-bat for Turner as he shoots this ball sharply the other way. We've talked about this playing surface, playing very fast. Probably the fastest natural surface in baseball. And Donovan had to range quickly to his left to knock that ball down and get an out.
Matt Shaw at the plate. He looks at a ball low and inside. A little bit of a check swing. They appeal it at first. Paul Clemens says no swing. 1-0. Shaw lined out in his first at-bat. Right-handed batter stands deep in the box, hits out of a crouch, uses a toe tap. And the 1-0. Chopped to third, but they say it's a foul ball off the foot of Shaw. Ouch.
Shaw got this breaking ball down and in. He's looking to pull this ball, and that's exactly what the Cardinals want him to do. They want him to hook this ball at the third baseman, Arenado. See if he can try with some of these off-speed pitches he's going to see of staying through the middle. If you stay through the middle, you're going to drive in at least one run.
1-1 the count. The pitch. Up high. 2 balls and a strike. The count on Shaw. Hitting at .220 on the year. He's been scuffling lately. Can break out of it in a big way here. 2-1 the count. As Shaw waits. Liberator deals. The pitch. High and outside. It's now 3-1.
Liberator in that last pitch just overthrew it. Just trying to throw too hard. And just never did finish that pitch. That ball sailed way up and out of the zone. Now Shaw should get a good pitch to hit. Happ on deck.
Shaw standing upright at the plate. Now time called as...
Liberator just doesn't know what he wants to throw here. I guarantee you that. He knows this is a big pitch in the game.
We are ready. Here comes the 3-1. A breaking ball outside. Ball 4. Shaw draws a walk, and now the Cubs have the bases loaded with just one away here in the top of the 5th, and Ian Happ due up.
Well, you could just see it after he misfired with a couple fastballs and Shaw didn't chase. Now all of a sudden you're the 3-1, and you know, what do you do? Do you throw a pitch in there where Shaw might do some damage? Shaw's already hit a bullet at Arenado for a line drive out. So that was one of those indecision and just never did throw a strike, not even close. So good at bat for Shaw. Now Cubs with one out and the bases loaded.
First, though, a mound meeting as Cardinals pitching coach Dusty Blake heads to the Hill to have a conversation with the left-hander Liberator, and the rest of the St. Louis infield joins in. Cubs in business. They're down by 1 here in the top of the 5th. Just one away, bases loaded. Ian Happ at the plate. He's 0 for 2 tonight, but Happ has been on a power surge lately. 7 home runs, Coombe, in his last 15 ball games.
Yeah, he's been swinging the bat well, and he's been able to take advantage of the conditions at Wrigley Field, and good for him. For all the Cubs hitters, all the first few months of the wind blowing in, and now the wind has been blowing out at Wrigley, so the guys are catching up with the home runs a little bit from where they should be.
The conditions are perfect tonight to launch one out of the yard. This would be a perfect time. Bases loaded. Happ hitting from the right side. The pitch. A bouncing ball hit to third. Fielded on a belt-high hop by Arenado to second for 1. Donovan to first. In time double play. And that ends the 5th inning. Brett Counsell saying, hold on here. Waiting for his replay man, Alex Smith, and the Cubs will not challenge.
Time for a great haircut. Just download the Great Clips app or check in online at greatclips.com. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
League Leaders are sponsored by American Sail. Bring the fun home. Aaron Judge leads the majors in batting average, hitting at .367 as we get set for the last of the fifth here in St. Louis. Ben Brown deals, and Nolan Gorman looks at a ball low and outside. 1-0 the count. Cardinals 2, Cubs 1. Cardinals struck in the fourth, a 2-run home run by Lars Nootbaar. As Gorman fouls this one out of play, off to the left. Count now 1 ball and 1 strike. Cubs struck in the top of the fifth. An RBI single by Carson Kelly. They had an opportunity for more and couldn't come through as Gorman pops it up. Left side, shallow left, near the line. It's Happ crossing over into foul territory. He makes the catch for out number 1 as Gorman is retired. The first out brought to you by Xfinity. The Wi-Fi is booming. Cubs had the bases loaded with just 1 away in the top of the fifth, but Happ rounded into a double play to end the frame. So 1 out, bottom 5, 2-1 Cardinals. The batter, Pedro Pajes, the catcher. Brown deals. Outside, ball 1. The home run leader, we just saw him over the weekend, Cal Raleigh of the Mariners with 31. The pitch is a called strike. Fastball from Brown. It's 1-1 the count. The RBI leader, Eugenio Suarez of the Diamondbacks. 67 runs batted in. Pajes flied out in his first at-bat. Here's the pitch. Called strike. Another fastball from Brown, 1-2.
Browning's had a good fastball today. Been able to get ahead of most of the Cardinal hitters in this ballgame.
The 1-2 delivery. Just missed outside, apparently.
Just off the plate away. That's a good pitch. That's a perfect 1-2 fastball, and it just missed the outside corner.
2-2. Brown kicks and fires. Way outside. Full count. With Brown, it's just about command because the fastball is elite when it's in the zone. Here's the payoff pitch. Inside, almost hit Pajes. Ball 4. And a 1-out walk for Pajes and the Cardinals here in the last of the fifth.
Just overthrew that last fastball, made a good pitch, just missed the outside corner, and then just kind of overthrew the last one and flew open, and that ball stayed way inside on Pajes.
So Pajes at first, 1 away. The batter, Victor Scott, the second. He swings, and it's a pop fly. Foul territory off to the left. Happ racing over, but this one is in the stands. 0-1.
Speaking of the stands, as Pat and I were talking earlier and looking around, this is far, far from a sellout. It's kind of shocking with the number of people that are not here tonight. Just empty bleachers. There's a lot of empty seats here in St. Louis.
Scott hits a fly ball, center field, angling toward right center. Crow Armstrong, and he's got it, makes the catch. Scott's retired, 2 away, retreating back to first. Pajes. St. Louis with a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Yeah, you're right. Now, there is, to be fair, an excessive heat warning that remains in effect for St. Louis. But it's Cubs-Cardinals, and it's the first meeting of the year between these two rivals.
Well, I would say when you come to St. Louis in the summer, it's hot.
Yes.
And it's always hot. This is no surprise. This weather, getting off the plane last night, was about, I don't know, high 80s at least. Late last night, it was already dark, but there's no surprise that it was warm here in St. Louis.
Brendan Donovan cranks one deep right field. Tucker looks up, and it's gone. 2-run home run for Brendan Donovan. And it's now 4-1 Cardinals here in the 5th.
Out for St. Louis, a pair of 2-run homers. It's just a fastball, middle, just below the belt to Donovan, and he was on time with this heater. It's just a line drive bullet. Only question was it going to be high enough to get over the wall, and it lands in the very first row, maybe the second row, but line drive bullet, 4-1 Cardinals.
Now Mason Wynn at the plate. He looks at a strike from Brown, a fastball, at 97 miles per hour. A 393-foot laser to right by Donovan, making it 4-1 St. Louis. The pitch, low and outside. One ball and one strike to count. Sorry for pausing there. I was looking at the scoreboard. It says 2-0. The pitch. A swing and a miss by Wynn, so the count, according to me, is 1-2. I believe it's also the count of the home plate umpire, Adrian Johnson.
Let's see if he looks at the scoreboard. There we go. Yep, 1-2.
Man, I feel better. Whew.
Your counting skills have not let you down, Z.
Pitch in the dirt. Now it's 2-2 in real life, 3-1 on the board.
Yeah.
And Adrian Johnson making sure everyone knows. Brown peers in. Now he rocks back and delivers. Tapper foul off to the right. Count remains 2-2. Wins 0 for 2 tonight. Struck out swinging in the first, grounded out in the fourth. Right-handed batter, open stance, upright, very little bend at the knees. The pitch, up high. And now the real count has caught up with the scoreboard count of 3-2. Brown delivers. Wynn pounds it on the ground, foul off to the left.
Good four-seam fastball for Brown, and this at-bat's thrown some really good ones. That was a 3-2 curveball. That Wynn just stayed alive.
The payoff pitch is low and outside. Ball 4. A 2-out walk by Wynn. St. Louis with a 4-1 lead over the Cubs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Will bring up the number 3 hitter, Alec Burleson, but not before Cubs pitching coach Tommy Hotovy walks to the mound to have a conversation with Brown, catcher Carson Kelly, and the rest of the Cubs infield.
Now, one thing Tommy wants to make sure that Brown doesn't lose confidence. You know, you've given up a couple home runs, but really you've pitched pretty well. So let's stay on the attack and keep going. You know, you're 2 outs here in the 5th. Your pitch count is at 70. So you'd really, if you're Craig Counsell, would really like him to get out of this inning quick and then come back out for inning number 6 and get going. But I think we're starting to see a little bit of movement down in the Cubs bullpen. Guys just starting to walk around a little bit. But I know Counts would love to get a nice long, at least a 6-inning outing out of Brownie. And he, pitch count wise, he is okay right now.
St. Louis 4, Cubs 1, 2 away, bottom of the 5th inning. Wynn at first, the batter Alec Burleson, left-handed hitter against the right-hander Brown, who sets at the belt. And now fires to first, getting back, standing up, Wynn. On Saturday, July 5th, the Cubs and Windy City Smokeout celebrate country music. Fans who purchase through Cubs.com/specials will receive a special Cubs and Windy City Smokeout themed t-shirt and bandana. Here's the pitch to Burleson and a high fly ball, deep right field. Tucker going back at the wall, looks up, and this one's gone as well. Second 2-run home run for the Cardinals in the 5th. This one by Alec Burleson. And it's now 6-1 St. Louis here in the opener of this 4-game set.
Now you get behind in the count, you walk a guy, and that's one thing about playing here in St. Louis in the middle of summer. A lot like Wrigley Field, the last couple days. It's the ball flies here. This is a high changeup, and it stays well up out of the zone, right at the top of the zone, I should say, and Burleson didn't miss it.
Now Wilson Contreras at the plate. He swings and fouls one back out of play. 0-1. A 4-run fifth inning for St. Louis. 6-1 Cardinals. Here's the 0-1 to Contreras. Line drive, base hit to left. That's Contreras' second hit of the ball game.
Killer in this inning, 2 walks. Both of them come around on home runs.
Baez was the first walk of the frame. Came around on the Donovan 2-run shot. Wynn walked, then Burleson blasted one out of the yard. 6-1 St. Louis. Man at first in Contreras. The batter, Lars Nootbaar. The pitch. Low and inside. 1-0. Nootbaar hit a 2-run home run in the fourth to get the scoring started tonight for St. Louis. Hitting from the left side against the right-hander, Brown, and the pitch. A bouncing ball hit to second, fielded by Horner on the outfield grass. The flip to first in time, and the fifth inning is finally over. But not before the Cardinals hit 2 home runs, scoring 4 times in the frame. 6-1 Cardinals as we head to the 6th on the score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
This is
Here we are, Arlington, Texas. This is the Graham Slam Burger. So 2 patties, brisket, caramelized onion, American cheese, ranch aioli or ranch mayo, if you will.
Oh yeah, we're in Texas.
Yeah.
It's something that you definitely want to take a picture of and just put on the gram. I took a bite of it, but it still looks dope.
It's a burger that looks great, but also delicious.
South side of Chicago, where are you at? This was the first time I got traded.
Because what's the point of points that future you can't use? And since your Rapid Rewards points don't expire, you can save up for that big trip. Get ready to reward future you with a future flight. Sign up for Rapid Rewards today and redeem your points on any seat, any day, anytime. Only at Southwest. All Rapid Rewards rules and regulations apply and can be found at southwest.com/RR terms.
FinishingChicago.com for the industry's best drywall finishing, wall covering, glass systems, signage, and painting contractors. Rely on FinishingChicago.com.
Kyle Tucker's on deck for the Cubs. Who's on Deck is brought to you by TimberTech Decking and Railing. Everything wood should be. Visit TimberTech.com. Pat?
All right, Zach, we move to inning number 6. Cardinals playing long ball. Let's see if the Cubs can join in the game. 6-1 St. Louis. 3 different 2-run home runs for the Cardinals so far. Kyle Tucker will lead it off. He's going to try to get on base and crank up a Cubs rally. He takes ball 1 from Matthew Liberator. Going to pass along a station ID as soon as Tucker bats. Pitch to Kyle. Curveball is high, ball 2.
And let's see what's on tap here in the 6th inning, sponsored by Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer. Cubs need to do the same thing Cardinals did and put some balls in flight. Cardinals with 3 2-run homers.
Bouncing ball toward first, fair, fielded by Contreras, unassisted play. And that's out number 1. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is The Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Listen to the Cubs game in FM quality at 104.3 HD2 FM on the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network. We are WSCR Chicago, WBMX HD2 Chicago, and Odyssey Sports Station.
with former Cub and All-Star Ron Coomer and Zach Zaidman. Pat Hughes in Missouri. Warm night in St. Louis. Cardinals lead the series opener 6-1 as the Cubs bat in the 6th inning. Seiya Suzuki will bat now against Matthew Liberatore. He takes high for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes on Seiya. He'd gladly take a walk. He had a multi-homer game yesterday, his 4th this season, and the 7th of his career. Seiya looks at a strike, 2-1. Still plenty of daylight left. These are the longest days in terms of sunlight hours. Right around the end of June, the summer solstice. Swinging a foul back out of play. I think the 21st is the day that is the longest. They become gradually shorter as you move toward October and the autumn. Here comes the 2-2 pitch now on the way to Seiya. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 5 for Liberatore. And the batter Dansby Swanson.
Liberatore with not a lot of strikeouts this season. He's quite a bit under a strikeout an inning. And today he's got the strikeout ball working. Now it's a little backdoor breaking ball to Seiya. Second time he's punched out on that backdoor hook.
Swanson has struck out and flied to right. He pokes one in the air to right, foul this time, and back out of play. We will be taking a look at this date in baseball history, brought to you by villageofbedfordpark.com. Up high to Dansby. Now's the time to make history for your business in Bedford Park. We already talked about the most significant day on this date in Cubs history, the Ryne Sandberg game, or simply the Sandberg game. 1984, 41 years ago today. Two and one on Swanson. Let's see if Dansby can get on. Pete Crow Armstrong is next. You get the feeling the Cubs are going to need probably one, or at least one, but maybe a couple of long balls. A drive to right center, caught by Scott. And that ends the inning. 3 up, 3 down, middle of inning number 6. St. Louis 6, Cubs 1. This is the score in the Southwest.
You're not one to dwell on past strikeouts or errors, Gemini, but you do have a nostalgic streak for your early baseball days. You likely still have your first game ball or your old Little League jersey buried in a drawer. Digging up these collector's items and embracing them again, or passing them on to a fan or charity, will only enhance their value.
Goosebumps. Experience the thrill for yourself. Shop your local Nissan store and NissanUSA.com today.
Opponent's pitching changes. Sponsored by Sloan Fish and Water Efficiency, partner of the Chicago Cubs. Leader in smart water and commercial restroom solutions, partner. Visit sloan.com.
Never knew how humorous that spot was until right now, as Nolan Arenado checks in. He will take inside from Ben Brown. It is kind of funny. 1 ball and 1 strike on Arenado. Gorman and Pages to follow. Craig Counsell just trying to get as many innings as possible out of Ben Brown. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Fastball low and away. I think in some other circumstances he might have been taken out already by now, but I think the weekend we just had factors into this as well, Ron.
No doubt about it. I think Counsell's going to try to squeeze out as much as he can now with the game 6-1. You know, you're going to really try to get Brownie into and through this 6th inning if he can do that. Pitch count's still in pretty good shape as far as that goes. It's 79 pitches.
Arenado pulls one fair down the left field line, bounces off the sidewall. Arenado with a single as Happ gets it back in. That sidewall juts out to within about 2 feet of the foul line, and it hit that sidewall and then caromed into shallow left field. A left fielder has to be careful. You can't always assume it's going to hit that wall. If it doesn't, and you play for the carom, you have a long way to go to chase that ball all the way into the corner. So you got to be careful with that little sidewall and left.
Yeah, that sidewall, what it does, though, is it really takes away a lot of doubles.
Deep drive to right center. Going back is Crow Armstrong, and this ball is gone. Nolan Gorman with a home run. And the Cardinal left-handed batters doing all the damage against Ben Brown. 4 different left-handed hitters have hit a 2-run home run. Lars Nootbaar, Brendan Donovan, Alec Burleson, and now Nolan Gorman. And it's 8-1 Cardinals, and the game is starting to get out of hand.
Yeah, this ball is well struck to right center field. And it's a fastball, and it's right in the middle of the plate to Gorman, and he didn't miss it. Knee high, and that will bring out Craig Counsell, and that will be the end of the day for Brownie.
And a pitching change will be forthcoming. Cubs pitching changes sponsored by James Hardy Building Products, siding with the Cubs. We are in the 6th inning. Cardinals lead 8-1 on the Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs radio network.
Take the Cubs with you in the Chicagoland area on the free Odyssey app. We are the Southwest Airlines Cubs radio network.
Ever feel like the road is out to... Thanks for...
What is it that kind of got you hooked as a foodie, so to speak?
My dad was really into food when I was a kid. He traveled for work and he would go to places all over Europe and stuff. He was in sales, and I feel like he would come home and try and cook the things he ate overseas. And so as a kid, I was exposed to a lot of like stuff that kids aren't usually exposed to. And so I credit my dad for that.
You know what happened in 2014.
A World Series win for the San Francisco Giants.
Look at how clean that is. The gold, I don't know if you guys know what the gold means, but the gold means you are the World Series champions from the year before. But it's the honor of a lifetime, getting to win back-to-back World Series championships with 2 different teams.
Aaron Judge 4-1 after 6. Aaron Judge homering for the Bronx Bombers, his 28th of the year. The Mariners all over the Twins, 7-1 now in the bottom half of the 6th inning. In that game, Julio Rodriguez crushed a 442-foot home run. Diamondbacks all over the White Sox, 8-0 now, top of the 5th. Pavin Smith, a 3-run shot. Pirates lead the Brewers 4-2, bottom of the 5th inning in Milwaukee. Pat?
Okay, Zach, here in Missouri, it's all Cardinals. They lead 8-1. And they are batting in the bottom of the 6th inning. And now Michael Fulmer is the new Cubs right-handed pitcher. Pedro Pages, first man to face the right-hander Fulmer, and the first pitch misses for ball 1. Nobody out, 2 runs in, 8 runs allowed by Ben Brown in 5+ innings. All of the runs on home runs. Boy, the homers have been very damaging to the Cubs pitching staff over the last 72 hours or so. Now the 2-0 pitch, looped into shallow left. That's going to fall for a base hit. In front of Ian Happ, Pedro Pages with a single, and the batter Victor Scott the second.
Oh, fastball, maybe cutter away right on the outside corner. Actually, pretty good pitch. Pages hits this ball right off the end of the bat and just dumps it in the short left. Probably broke his bat on that base hit.
Getting back to some baseball history. This Day in Baseball History brought to you by villageofbedfordpark.com. Now is the time to make history for your business in Bedford Park. We already talked extensively about this being the anniversary of the Rhine-Sandberg game in 1984, or simply the Sandberg game. Scott, a left-handed batter, the pitch, swinging a chopper foul. Hard to imagine, but yes, there have been some other things that have happened on June the 23rd. Now here's a performance you don't see every day. The Phillies had a pitcher by the name of Rick Wise. Not only did he pitch a no-hitter, but he also blasted 2 home runs in the same game.
Come on.
To beat Cincinnati 4-0. And Cincinnati had guys like Pete Rose, Johnny Bench, and Tony Perez, among others, in their lineup. You talk about a guy who had a big game. You no-hit that gang, and just in your spare time, you hit 2 home runs. Ground ball to second. Nico shovels to Swanson for 1, over to first. That's a double play. 4-6-3, a quick twin killing. 8-1 Cardinals lead, bottom of the 6th inning, and the batter now is Brendan Donovan.
Excellent pivot at second base by Dansby, realizing that Scott can really fly. He gets rid of this ball in a hurry and throws a strike and a bullet across to get Scott at first.
Double play is turned by Cubs defensive player, sponsored by Nissan. Experience the thrill of NissanUSA.com. Donovan grounded out, flied out, and ripped a 2-run home run. All of the homers have gone to the right of center field. A couple have been high drives, a couple have been line drives. They've all done damage. 8-1 Cardinals lead. Here's a drive to deep center. Back goes Crow Armstrong near the center field fence, leaping and making a fabulous catch. He may have taken a home run away from Brendan Donovan. He kept his eye on the ball, timed his jump, made a leaping grab, and a sensational play. One of many that he has made, and one of many more to come in the future. Pete Crow Armstrong.
Oppo Taco.
I'm going to guess it's an opposite field, upper deck, maybe something like a...
Yeah, home run to the opposite field. You got it.
This is a good one, a hack.
I don't know. I mean, is it the same as like the layman's term hack, like a bad chef?
You've guessed correctly.
Okay.
Someone's a hack, someone that's just nailing it in.
Yeah.
They're not putting their heart into it.
And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Illinois. Jesus apply in app only.
The Chef IQ Sense is a wireless cooking thermometer everyone should have. It eliminates under or overcooking your chicken, fish, or meat to achieve perfection. Order one now on ChefIQ.com. That's ChefIQ.com.
field line. It's going to be a double for Pete Crow-Armstrong. Good hustle for Pete. A pop fly that fell in no man's land down the left field line. Nootbaar racing in. Wynn, the shortstop, angling over. Neither man could get there. It's a leadoff double. Let's see if that starts a rally.
Second double of the game for Pete. He banged it off the left center field wall, and now a little looper for a double, and now we're getting another look at this. And the catch, I am saying, in center field, and I think he did rob a home run in straightaway center field.
And now Pete with the bat doubles to lead off the seventh inning. Here's Carson Kelly taking a strike. This is such a great rivalry. One of the trademarks of any rivalry is teams coming from behind. Now this is a large deficit right here, 8-1, but it is a Cubs-Cardinals game, so I wouldn't go away just yet.
And it's definitely a time of the year where the ball's flying and runs can be put up in a hurry, as we've seen for the Cardinals.
Kelly drove in the Cubs run with that fifth inning single. And a pitch on the way in for a strike. That was a key inning, the fifth. The Cubs had a run in. They were down by only one run at that time. With one away and the bases loaded, Liberator induced Happ to bounce into a 5-4-3 inning-ending double play when it looked like the Cubs might get a bundle. They walked away with one. And then the Cardinal offense went to work. Wrapped on the ground to the hole at short. Wynn will throw to first in time to get Kelly. Holding at second is Crow-Armstrong. One away. 8-1 St. Louis, and the batter Nico Horner.
Yeah, probably the play of the game so far is that double play ball to Arenado. If that ball, Cubs end up getting a hit there, and you end up driving in a couple more runs, probably a different ball game.
Let's see if Nico can drive in a run. He's got 31 runs batted in. You can bet that Liberator is just going to throw a lot of strikes now. You wouldn't think he'd be nibbling at all, Ron.
Yeah, you got to go on the attack. Absolutely.
Curveball, line to left. There's a base hit. Crow-Armstrong around third. He's going to hold there. No need to take any chances when you're down by 7 runs. And the Cubs have men at first and third. Horner with a base hit. And here is Justin Turner, a time when the Cubs could really use a long ball.
Little breaking ball. Nico hits it off the end of the bat, but dumps it in the left field. Well, 2 men on, a long ball now, and you start cutting into that deficit big time.
Naturally, the infield back. The Cardinals lead by 7. Justin Turner, the batter. Twice he has grounded out to second base. And he'll take a fastball high, ball 1.
Very hot day here, as we've said, in St. Louis. 94 at the start of the game. Liberator now at 78 pitches. So, he's got to be laboring a little bit, too, in this excessive heat.
St. Louis leads 8-1. 2 men on for the Cubs as Turner takes low and inside. 2-0.
Well, here's where you got to take a shot at the left field seats. You're way ahead in the count. Cubs are way down. You need something good to happen. See if JT can launch one here.
Now the 2-0 from the Cardinal lefty. Here's a drive toward right center. On the run is Scott. And the left-handed center fielder makes the catch. Tagging and scoring is Pete Crow-Armstrong. It's a sacrifice fly for Turner. Holding at first on the play, Horner. And now it's an 8-2 ball game.
Now drives in a run. This ball hitting the right center into that gap. And Scott, who has very good speed, runs that ball down in the gap.
Turner's 12th run batted in. RBIs by Cubs batters, sponsored by Old National Bank, where relationships and results matter. Get old. Pitch in the dirt, bounces up, bluffing towards second is Nico Horner, but the throw to first not in time. The catcher, Pages, tried to pick Nico off, almost threw the ball down into the right field corner. Activity will start in the St. Louis bullpen. Cubs bullpen is located directly behind the left center field fence. The Cardinals pen just beyond the right center field barrier. Now the 1-0 instead. Liberator not quite ready. Now he is. His 82nd pitch of the game is fouled away. I think early in the year, Ron, you've let guys pitch 90, maybe even 100 pitches occasionally, but boy, it gets this hot, I think you reduce it by about 10%.
Yeah, I would agree to that, especially today.
Now the 1-0, changeup is down low, 2-0. Now the scoreboard operator just pulled something that confused this reporter. The count was 1-0 on the pitch, and he added both a ball and a strike.
Well, there was a foul ball over here, so it's 2-1.
This pitch is down low.
See if he adds 2 more. He's been struggling today. It's hot for him, too. The 5th inning, he had Zach Zach was on it. Umpire was on it. The scoreboard, not so much.
He racked up a half of a ball on that last pitch.
Yeah.
Here's a bouncer towards short, scooped up by Mason Wynn, shovels to Donovan. There's the out. That's the inning. Cubs get 1 and leave 1, middle of inning number 7. It's the Cardinals 8 and the Cubs 2 on the score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs radio network.
Hey, Cubs fan.
From about 1905 to 1925 or so, teams actually issued cardigans as part of their team uniform. In that era, knitwear was actually having a heyday in sports. Think of ski sweaters or Argyle sweater vests on the Gulf Green. And baseball decided to jump on the bandwagon and create cardigans.
So the reason I got to Cooperstown is because I played with Cal and I played with Eddie and I played with some of the greatest players ever. And, you know, I just had to figure out how I did my job, and I was honored to have some of the best players that ever played put on uniforms, and they happen to be Oriole uniforms. If there's ever any doubt that I'm 78, all I got to do is look at my old cards and I know.
The 7th inning is sponsored by the new Volvo XC90, designed for life. Pat?
Zach, thank you. Mason Wynn will lead things off. Wynn, Burleson, and Contreras against the right-hander Fulmer. Here's a swing and a foul off to the right by Mason Wynn. Wynn has struck out, grounded out, and drawn a walk and scored a run. His average down in the 250s. Looking at the team rankings before this first game of the season series. Cubs are second in the National League in run scoring. The Dodgers are number 1. And the Cardinals are 5th in the run scoring area. So they're in the top 3rd. Here's the fly ball, right center. Playable for a backpedaling Nico Horner, and that's going to be out number 1. And then in the pitching area, team earned run average, the Cubs are 6th in the National League in team ERA. That's always a very important stat. And the Cardinals struggling in pitching, and that's why they are not closer to first place. They are 10th in the league in team ERA at 3.93. But generally, the teams with the best team ERAs at the end of the year are the ones playing in October.
Yep, there's no doubt.
Almost always. One away. Here's the 0-1 pitch on the way to Burleson, and he'll take low and inside 1-1. And I like to keep things simple, Ron. How many are you scoring? How many are you giving up?
That's right.
And that tells me all I need to know, or almost everything. Here's the 1-1. Pull on the ground, diving stop by Turner. What a play. Gets up from one knee, feeds the ball to Fulmer on the bag. There's the play of the game by Justin Turner. He took a double away from Alec Burleson.
Excellent play by Turner at first. He lays out. This ball's going down into the corner for sure, and takes an extra base hit away from Burleson.
We're going to call that the catch of the game, sponsored by Catch Des Moines. Discover a weekend getaway in Des Moines where only the S's are silent. Find all the fun at CatchDesMoines.com. 2 down, Wilson Contreras batting. Checks and takes outside for ball 1. First of 4 games. We'll be right back out here again tomorrow night and Wednesday night, and a day game Thursday. And then it's on down to Houston. Fouled away off to the right. So it'll be a challenging trip. Houston's been good this year.
Yeah, they're a good ball club.
Houston in first place. Houston in that National League West. 5-game lead over Seattle. Driven into left center in the gap. Happ can't get it. One hop against the wall. And Wilson Contreras has his 3rd hit of the game. His 2nd double to go along with a single. You kind of predicted that, Ron.
Yeah, you kind of know Wilson, whether he's swinging good or not coming into this series, you knew you're going to get his best effort this series, playing against this old ball club, and hammered another ball in the gap in left center. Hardest working player of the game, brought to you by Bosch Power Tools. The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch. And how about Carson Kelly? 2 hits in this ball game and catching tonight. This heat, driven in a run, so he'll be our hardest working player of the game.
I talked to him in the clubhouse and about the entire game that he caught over the weekend on that, I think it was the Saturday or the Friday game. One of the real bad ones.
Yep.
And he went all 9. Had a couple of hits in the game. That's above and beyond the call of duty, really.
It is not easy, that is for sure.
Now Fulmer's pitch to the left-handed batting Nootbaar. Popped up, shallow left center. Swanson out, Happ in. Happ puts the squeeze to it to end the inning. No runs on a hit, a double and a man left. We go to the 8th inning, getting late. Cubs need to rally. It is St. Louis 8. And the Cubs 1 make it the Cubs 2 on the South. Cubs fans, Pat Hughes here. It's shaping up to be an historic season. To start making history with your business in Bedford Park, visit villageofbedfordpark.com.
The 8th inning sponsored by Cars for Kids, 877 Cars for Kids. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today, Patrick.
Riley O'Brien is the new pitcher for St. Louis in this 8th inning. Matthew Liberatore, the pitcher of record on the positive side, Ben Brown on the other. As the Cubs are down by 6 as the 8th inning gets underway with Ian Happ taking a strike. Happ without a hit tonight, grounded out, struck out, and wrapped into a double play. Batting left-handed against Riley. Here's a smash foul down the right field line. RBIs by Cubs batters. Those are sponsored by Old National Bank, where relationships and results matter. Get Old National Bank. O'Brien's next offering rides in high, 1-2. $30,003 was my guess in the attendance game. We'll see how we did here real soon. Ian Happ strokes it foul down the left field line. Benny's Beverage Depot attendance game. If you can't find it at Benny's, it's probably not worth drinking. And Zach Zaidman has just received the actual figure. We were speculating that it would not be a sellout, and it's not even close. Here's a liner down the line and right, foul off the bat of Happ and out of play. 27,000, kind of a disappointing number. 27,058. When it's jammed, this place holds 42 to 44,000. Now the 1-2, low and inside for a ball. Looks like I was a little bit closest. I'm not sure how to explain that, Ron.
I don't know. You would Cubs Cardinals and both teams are in the race. Cubs are in first place, Cardinals in third, but they're 4.5 games back going into this ball game. I'm not accustomed to coming here and not having a packed house.
Happ hits a looper into shallow right. It's going to be caught by Burleson for the first out in the inning. Possibly just to speculate on why the crowd is not higher or bigger. The Cardinals have won 5 of their last 6 games. So before that, they were right around the 500 mark. But they started the night just 4.5 games out of first, 1 game behind Milwaukee, and 4.5 behind the Cubs. But it's unusual. Here's Kyle Tucker batting with 1 away. Swings and misses.
Tough
Tucker
play of
without
the
a
game.
hit tonight.
Yeah, a tough play of the game, sponsored by Loyola Medicine. Loyola Medicine defines tough. How about the line drive bullet early in the game off the bat of Arenado at Shaw? Matty with a really nice play. Leaping catch.
There is a strike. 7th inning was sponsored by the new Volvo XC90. XC90, designed for life. O'Reilly working from the stretch. And the pitch outside. O'Reilly kind of turns his back as he comes set. And then kind of delivers it in a sidewinder manner.
Yep, kind of see his numbers in the back as he comes set.
He's looking into shallow left field, and he misses low and inside to Kyle Tucker.
Meat of the order in this ball game presented by Chef IQ Sense. Never under or overcook your food again. Purchase now, chefiq.com.
Cubs trail by 6. They need base runners, and they need them soon. The 2-2 is outside to Tucker. Lights have been on for the entire game. Still some daylight left. We're in the twilight hour here in Missouri. And the payoff. Lifted to left, shallow and playable for Nootbaar, and that's going to be out number 2.
Pretty good pitch, down and away. That ball running away from Tuck. He's a little frustrated as he fires his bat down on the ground.
Stay tuned for the toast of the game. It'll be named by Ron Coomer and presented by Benny's Beverage Depot coming up in the 9th inning. Now O'Brien's pitch, lined into right, a base hit for Seiya Suzuki. Sounded like a busted bat. Suzuki will take the single with 2 down. Here's where the Cubs need a long ball.
Yeah, you could use a couple guys to get on and get a couple balls crunched into the seats, and you kind of tighten this game up a little bit, and then you never know.
Zach Zaidman will have the Verizon Cubs radio postgame show a bit later on. He generally likes to wait until the game is over. Here's a pitch to Dansby. It's in there for a strike. It's a good policy, and
yeah.
I see where you're coming from, Zach.
Hence the post-game show.
Cubs being out-hit 11-7. O'Brien's pitch to Swanson inside. Let me ask you this. I was thinking of Dansby. He's batting cleanup, which he so infrequently does. If you all of a sudden bat cleanup, subconsciously maybe, are you going to try to swing a little harder? Because that has always been a home run position in the order.
I don't think so. I don't think for Dansby, I don't think he's going to change his approach. I think this was more of a situation where you had a left-hander on the mound, so it was the lineup. So you had a switch, a left with Tucker, a right with Suzuki, a right with Swanson, and I think he just wanted to push Armstrong down a little bit, peek Armstrong down, and then try to do the left-right thing the best you could. But I think that was, trying to get more right-handed against Liberatore earlier in the lineup.
Fouled away by Swanson, 2-2. Still plenty of Cub fans here, hoping for a late inning rally tonight. There have been a few of those in this Cubs-Cardinals series. Both sides. Riley O'Brien taking a little time. O'Brien works over on the extreme first base side of the pitcher's rubber. He slowly comes set, and the 2-2 to Swanson. Wrapped on the ground to short, scooped up by Wynn, goes to second. There's the force. That's the inning. Cubs don't score. We are in the middle of the 8th inning. St. Louis 8, Cubs 2 on the score, and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Hey, Cubs fans,
I believe this one's it's a rookie card, I know, but I feel like it's the first card that I ever, big league card. Obviously, as a kid, trying to get to the big leagues, the dream of making it, but as a kid that had cards, right, as a kid, this is like seeing your card the first time is pretty cool. So that's pretty powerful when you see that card.
Visit Chicago Cubs Players All-Stars. Visit Cubs.com/All-Star to cast your 2025 Pro Spirit MLB All-Star ballot daily. Pat?
Last of the 8th inning. Watching more highlights of the Sandberg game all night long. Ryan Brazier is the new Cubs right-handed pitcher. Brazier always works out of the stretch. Here's the pitch to Nolan Arenado, and it will miss a little bit high for ball 1. 1-1. Brazier has only worked 9 1/3 innings. The next pitch pulled foul toward the third base coach area. Brazier 10 games, good ERA 1.93. Vidal Brujan has come in to play center field, giving Pete Crow Armstrong the rest of the night off. Here's a fly ball to right, pretty well hit, but very playable for Tucker. Over toward the corner, gloves it, that's out number 1. The first out is brought to you by Xfinity, where the Wi-Fi is booming. One down, here's Nolan Gorman. Gorman, one of 4 left-handed batters with a 2-run homer for St. Louis tonight, as they lead 8-2. Here's a drive down the right field line, curling foul. It did not have home run distance, and it fell out of play.
That's stolen bases by the Cubs. They're powered by Turo Tire, Chicago's hometown tire. Find a dealer at Turo.com.
John Birdie has come in to play second base, so Nico Horner gets the rest of the night off. Brujan in center and Birdie at second. Neither team with an error. Cubs being out-hit 11-7, being out-homered 4-0, and that's the key stat tonight.
Yep. Strikeouts by Cubs pitchers are brought to you by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealer.
Gorman lays off a pitch high and away. Gorman now with 5 home runs after his 2-run blow in the 6th inning tonight. The 1-2, a fastball low and inside, 2-2. Now we're right at the end of the twilight hour. Lights are going to take full effect. And that is strike 3 call to Nolan Gorman. Brazier gets the strikeout. Strikeouts by Cubs pitcher, and that was a good pitch watching the replay. Strikeouts by Cubs pitchers. Those are brought to you by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. 2 down, here's Pedro Pajes. Pajes will take a strike. His last name looks like you might say Pages. P-A-G. It has that little, is it called a tilde that they put over certain letters in Spanish? It's over the E, so you know it's pronounced A. Pedro Pajes. And now the 0-2 from Brazier. Drill to left, coming in and making the catch is Ian Happ to end the inning. We go to the 9th. The Cubs need a big rally. You never know. 8-2 St. Louis on the score, and the Southwest Airlines Cubs ready.
And you're just too stylish to have superstitions.
Zero. I can't do it. Too many colored cleats, too many gloves, too many wedding gloves, too many bats.
I do put on my right glove first, then the left, then the thumb guard, then I put on my leg guard, my elbow guard.
Anything you put on first?
Nah, Not really. Nah. I like to say I'm not superstitious, but a little stitious.
AdvancedHair.com.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs. Coombs?
And we're coming to you live all season long from the Invesco QQQ broadcast booth, proud ETF partner of the Chicago Cubs. Patrick?
Ron and Zach, thank you. We go to the ninth inning. John Birdie first up. And he will take a pitch from the right-hander Munoz. Rodiby Munoz. I don't see any tildes or accent marks over any of the letters. I will keep you. Actually, there's an over and O. There is one.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah.
Yes, there is.
There's the little divot.
Now, I'm just waiting to see a semicolon, and then we'll be all set for what I'm not sure. 8-2 St. Louis here in the ninth inning. Munoz to John Birdie. Swinging a bouncer toward the middle. Going to be a tough play. Thrown by Donovan to first in time, and that's out number one. Donovan well over onto the shortstop side of the bag. Backhanded the ball on the grass. I thought Birdie was going to leg it out, but he was out by an eyelash.
Yeah, nice play by Donovan going in the hole, but plants quickly and gets rid of this ball to get Birdie by a step.
One down, ninth inning, 8-2, St. Louis on top. Carson Kelly with a pair of singles, drove in a run with a base hit in the fifth. Steps in, and he'll chop it foul for ball, a count of 0-1. I'm still thinking about the accents and the tildes.
Yeah.
And Zach, I'm going to bring you in. So Pajes
is just an accent, Mark.
It's just an accent. Now, when would you use a tilde?
Munoz has the tilde over the N in his last name.
Okay, very good. Here's the 0-1. Now we're getting somewhere. The 0-1 is taken down low. What would be the difference, and when would you use one and not the other?
This may come as a shock to you, but I did not take a linguistics class or a...
They didn't teach that at Syracuse?
Don't feel bad. I can't even spell linguistics. Here's the pitch on the way to Carson Kelly, and that's going to be outside.
Just in case you guys were wondering, all the reviews and the tildes, all the reviews in this game are sponsored by Northwestern Medicine. Maybe they can tell us. Second opinion's always a good idea. Get yours at Northwestern Medicine.
Carson Kelly waiting, and the pitch to him is outside. There was a great tennis player about 100 years ago by the name of Bill Tilden. Now maybe the tildes began when he started winning Wimbledon.
There you go.
It's kind of a far-fetched idea, but we've reached that point in the game, Ron. Now the pitch down low, and that's ball four. Cubs will take that gift as Carson Kelly gets on for the third time in the game. Cubs trail by 6.
I know we're in that point of the toast of the game ball player, Pat. And how about Carson Kelly? 2 hits in the game, drove in a Cubs run and walked, and excellent job behind the plate in some very tough conditions. So Carson Kelly will be toast of the game ball player, brought to you by Benny's Beverage Depot. If you can't find it at Benny's, it's probably not worth drinking.
Vidal Brujan gets a chance to swing a bat. He swings away and fouls it away. We'll have the post-game show, the Verizon post-game show with Zach Zaidman right after our game tonight. 1 away and a man at first. Vidal Brujan will swing and miss, and a sharp breaking ball from Munoz.
And just to wrap up our tilde accent conversation, in linguistics, the tilde mark indicates a nasalization or change in pronunciation. So there you go.
Check swing, it's down low. The nasalization word has been one of the highlights of my night. You feel that way too, Ron?
I'm going to sleep better tonight, I know that.
Whereas the accent is
Brujan's got the little accent mark.
Yeah, the 1-2 to Brujan is taken down low. Go ahead, Zach. Was there more?
Yeah, Brujan has the accent over the A,
Yeah.
and the reason is it's used to indicate a stress mark in pronunciation.
Brujan.
Correct.
And less nasal in that type of word than the previous one?
That's for the tildes, yeah.
Swing and a smash, foul down the right field line. Do you ever have a discussion, Ron and Zach, where after it's done, you're more confused than you were before it started?
Oh, yeah. I can tell you when, too.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Vidal Brujan. 8-2 St. Louis. Same 2 teams tomorrow night and Wednesday night and Thursday afternoon. Here's a smash foul. This is a good at-bat. Good plate appearance by Vidal Brujan. He's fouled off some pitches, had some good cuts. You'd like to see this young guy get a base hit.
Absolutely. Guys coming in the game, and, they don't get to play every day. And when you do get in there, boy, you're really grinding away. Doesn't matter what the score of the game is.
And the 2-2 hit in the air to center, but it's going to be caught by Scott, and that's the second out of the inning. And the Cubs are down to their last chance here in St. Louis, with Justin Turner coming up. Turner drove in a run with a 7th inning sac fly. The Cubs' other run, a run-scoring base hit by Carson Kelly in the 5th. But the Cardinals played long ball tonight. They hit 4 home runs, each with a man on. The homer hitters were Lars Nootbaar, Brendan Donovan, Alec Burleson, and Nolan Gorman. Turner hits a grounder to short. This is going to do it. The throw to second. There's the force, and the ball game is over. The Cardinals have beaten the Cubs in the opener by a score of 8-2. We'll be back with the totals right after this on The Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Hey Cubs fans, it's Dansby Swanson. Listen to every game here on the Chicago Cubs Radio Network.
Is your business's pavement showing signs of wear and tear? Patriot Pavement Maintenance specializes in simplifying pavement maintenance and construction for industrial, commercial, and educational clients throughout Illinois. Based in Wheeling with over 30 years of experience, they provide asphalt paving, seal coating, concrete repair, and non-toxic solutions to protect and enhance your surfaces. Call 847-813-9034 or visit patriotpavement.net for a proposal. Patriot Pavement Maintenance. Pavement maintenance and construction made simple.